The SEC just delayed the Bitcoin spot ETF. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about what does this mean for my course of action. Does this mean that I think crypto is going to crash now? Am I going to sell? Am I going to buy? I'm going to talk about where do I think the Bitcoin price is going to go. I'll talk about Ethereum because it may be some interesting alternatives. This and much more in today's video. So drop in. I hope you're having a good week. The week from a news standpoint, well, on the one hand it was expected, but on the other hand always a bit disappointing. The SEC came out and delayed the ETFs early. And so obviously the first question is, why did they delay it so early? They could have done this way later. Now, we don't exactly know, but one speculation is that this is because of the potential government shutdown in the US. It seems that there's another standoff between Democrats and Republicans on the budget and so on approval. Actually, it's a funny process in the US always, where on the one hand you need to approve the budget, and then on top of that you need to approve raising the debt limit, which is weird because you already approved the budget. So this is a bit of a weird kind of move, but so that's just how it is. So for the 70 years time or something, the US needs to increase their debt ceiling, and obviously with that comes that risk that for a certain period of time some governmental institutions are not functioning, and so that's maybe why the SEC pushed the timelines back. And so right now all these timelines get pushed to the 10th of January 2024. Now this is a deadline, so that means just like right now they can obviously either approve or delay or do things earlier. Now a key thing on this is ARK is the only one that cannot get further delayed. So on ARK, we're gonna have a final yes or no by January 10th. And obviously, if this doesn't get approved by then, this will be quite a shocking signal because the applications are kind of all similar. And the assumption is more that the SEC is just buying itself some time and is then gonna batch approve all of them at the same time. And then there's a trading start, I don't know, a little bit after that. So that timeline for the Bitcoin spot ETF to start trading in Q1 next year, in my opinion, is actually relatively high now. I talked about a 60% chance in the past. I would probably increase this now to a 70-75% chance, simply the way this is all handled. On top of that, members of Congress, and this is a bipartisan request, asked the SEC to approve a Bitcoin spot ETF and to stop discriminating the cryptocurrency industry. Now, the market kind of sees this all very chilled. Normally in the past, the market has been very volatile when such news came out. So far, there wasn't much movement. Maybe it's still gonna come. But I would actually be surprised if there is some volatility for a very simple reason, namely that the market is really kind of expecting this. I had said this several times that I'm not expecting an ETF approval this year. I'm really expecting it more next year. And so not much surprise. I think very straightforward so far. Everything according to plan, at least in my kind of book. Now, what does this mean now for investments? What does this mean for prices? Well, in general, I think at the moment, Bitcoin really has only one thing going for it, and it's that Bitcoin spot ETF. Now, we can discuss and debate how much the Bitcoin spot ETF actually fundamentally adds in value. I'm probably a bit more on the skeptical side of that, but it's definitely going to add hype. So short term, as you know, short-term prices are driven by emotions. And so in my opinion, it's a very attractive bet to make. Now the question is, what's going to happen once it is approved? Then are we going to see a buy the rumor, sell the news event? Could be that I actually trade that thing. So let's see. But right now, I think it's an interesting bet to bet on the Bitcoin spot ETF getting approved in or by January and then start trading in Q1. Obviously, this is a real personal bet. What you do really depends on your own belief structures, financial capabilities, and so on. But this could be an interesting one. Now, if you want to play this, the way you would do this is you can either buy a lump sum of Bitcoin right now. This is always a bit risky because that means your market timing. Generally, it's easier if you buy in tranches or you dollar cost average or you do recurring buys. Obviously, our company, Bake, is offering that with the industry's best rates. You can compare this, you can check this out. You can go to bake.io with credit card fees and everything, super competitive, and yeah, you even have the chance to win some prizes. So this is my course of action. I think is a really, really interesting kind of play here and a very interesting kind of setup. So you can go to Bake, the website is bake.io, and set up your recurring buy, dollar cost average in, and potentially benefit from a rally here with the market. Now, there are other bets in the market as well. Another one is Ethereum, and we're going to do a bit of a more deep dive as well on what this dank sharding is, how this all works. But it looks like in November, we're going to see an upgrade where there is an improved fee structure and potentially more usage. And so at the end, that's what you want to see on Ethereum. The more use, the better. Utility matters. And I think Ethereum does have the strongest utility of any of the chains. And you can see this today with how much fees are spent, how much actually is happening on there. On top of that, there are several futures ETFs open, something that's already approved for Bitcoin, and there's no real reason why they should get rejected on Ethereum. So these futures ETFs are out there, and they would also get approved in a similar kind of timeline. So I do think this is also a very interesting bet, and it's a bet that I am personally also making. So that's dollar cost averaging into Ethereum for mainly two reasons: futures ETF, also a spot ETF. I think that would only get approved after the Bitcoin spot ETF, and then obviously this dank sharding upgrade. The Bitcoin bet here really is the Bitcoin ETF play together with a halving cycle play that happens at the end of Q1. So all of that could really kind of fall in place nicely. So quite exciting on there. And then the third one that you could dollar cost average into is DeFi chain, where the meta chain layer is imminent. And so this is gonna drive a lot of utility as well. We have seen a little bit of a correction after the massive 50-60% rally. There's been a bit of a consolidation now, but this consolidation is covered. Those that kind of took profits, which is normal in such an up rally, have taken their profits, and yeah, looks now like a good pattern again to break out. So yeah, three very interesting bets. Let me know if you're using one of those. One is on Bitcoin spot ETF halving, the other one is really on the dank sharding Ethereum futures ETF, and the other one is on the meta chain layer. Let me know. Let me know if you're using one of them, all of them, and yeah, obviously if you use Bake on bake.io, greatly appreciate it. It's all about leveling the investment playing field, empowering you to increase your purchase power. So yeah, exciting times ahead. I'm actually optimistic. So let's see what the market does. All the best in the meantime. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.